So today is Friday, May 31st, about 6 o'clock in the evening. Today marks the end of my health insurance. I got to, I guess, keep it for the duration of the month, and today is the last day for my health insurance. I've had health insurance my whole life. I've never gone a day without being covered by health insurance. So I don't know, I guess, that's saying something. About the change that I made or the chances that I've taken. But I'm not worried about that because I'm in California, and this area particularly is just, it's, very well known for health, for fitness. People, they got bike racks in front of the buses out here, and train cars on the train that are, dedicated to bikers that go, take the train halfway down the state and bike back, or vice versa. So it's a healthy, healthy environment, and living healthy doesn't. Excuse me. Living healthy doesn't always, guarantee that that you don't get sick or that things don't happen, but hopefully you minimize the chances. So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about grief and sadness because of what I went through this past week. I had somebody suggest to me that these periods of sadness that precede explosions could be bipolar. And, I studied psych. I have a fairly close family member that struggled with bipolar, and I understand what it is. When I talk about this, these phases, they're typically generated by something. This weekend I didn't just fall sad. I had an incident occur that could have had really drastic effects for me in my future. The likes of which I don't know that I've ever seen, let alone at a time where I don't have a consistent income, and I don't know anybody, and I'm starting over. The message is about learning to find comfort through the emotions that God gave us. I think that a lot of the problems that people have these days start with not wanting to have accountability for how they feel and how they behave, and their behavior based on their feelings. Our emotions were given to us for a reason. Initially, fear and anger were, their defense responses intended to, protect the caveman against, lions and, foreign people, or, you need your emotions to protect you against certain things, but sometimes we hide from those emotions, and then we don't realize that those emotions were elicited for a reason, and that something needs to be done to deal with what caused those emotions. So my being open to crying is about not running from those emotions. I used to, drink to numb myself, and that was the extent of it. I became a party drinker near the end of my drinking career, but it wasn't about partying most of the time. I was laying in bed with a pint of some type of 80 proof or higher liquor every day. And at times weighing 105, 110 pounds, drinking that much every day. And I became numb. One of the most glaring memories that I have is, I had a friend named Justin. His nickname was Gus, and I knew him my whole life. His family, he grew up around the corner from me. His family and my family both grew up in Montclair, and he was like, I think his first crush might have been my sister. I know he had a thing for her when they were in first grade. But anyway, as we got older, he ended up dating one of my best friends, and it used to be the three of us. We hung out together all the time. It was, those two and me, and I was never really felt like a third wheel because I was so close to both of them. So anyway, they broke up, and I became a firefighter, and one night we got a call. It was in a different district than where I was at, so I didn't have to respond, but there was a car accident. And I found out early the next morning that Gus was in that accident. I didn't have to respond to it, thank God. And he was pretty much dead on arrival. When they pulled up, he didn't have a pulse. And I always wonder, had I been working at a different station that day, that was at a time where I was moving around, I was still young on the job. Had I been at a different station and responded to that call, if I even would have continued my career as a firefighter, I think it really would have devastated me. So anyway, I have these memories. That was in 2005, right around the same time, maybe the same day that Katrina hit in Mississippi. And if you've been following some of my blogs, you saw the house in Mississippi and the you know of the damage that was done in the Gulf Coast by Katrina. So emotionally, I was devastated between Gus dying and my family not hearing from people and all the drama that was Hurricane Katrina. And I remember standing at the casket with my friend that dated him for, my friend Kelly dated Gus for, close to 5 years. And I couldn't drop a tear. I wanted so badly to purge. I just wanted to cry for my friend who was this rising star that could have been this tremendous football player and that had the love and loyalty of so many people from, the Hollow in Montclair, little area that he was from. They used to call him the King of the Hollow. But anyway, my point is that I couldn't cry, and I don't know if that's something, that I could put into words. I don't know if that's a feeling that I can truly express, to want to cry, to want to purge, to get these toxins, these feelings out of your body, and to feel like your tear ducts are blocked, that you can't. So when I talk about the pleasure in mourning, the pleasure that I find in grief, I'm happy and grateful that I found a decent outlet. The crying for me is a decent outlet. I'm not going to slip my wrists. I'm not going to pop some pills. I'm not going to pick up a drink. I'm just going to cry, and I'll be okay. And I'm grateful for that, because there was a long period of time I was on antidepressants and I was still drinking daily, where my emotions were so numb that I literally, physically could not cry. So I guess the point in all of that is to pay attention to the emotions that God gave you, not to run from them. That's, when you run from those emotions and you try and heal yourself in different ways, they become crutches and ultimately they become your issue, which is what happened with me and alcohol. So now, I cry all the time. I cry at Hallmark commercials, like my coach used to say. But it's not sad. Don't feel sad for me. I have a deeper joy than I've ever had in my life. I don't know that I've ever. I know for a fact I've never been happier than I am today, and I cry exponentially more than I did for the majority of my life. So I guess that's it for today. Hope you got something out of that, and I am going to do, I think, a series. There's 17 chapters in my book. I was going to go, I think, chapter by chapter, introduce my book again, so that people can start to get an understanding, if you haven't bought it, of where my expertise comes from, where, why I feel like I'm qualified to give people advice, or to try and give people guidance. I've had some experiences in a number of different directions, and so what I would like to do is just kind of go chapter by chapter. I don't want to give it away and then nobody buys the book, but just to give an idea, a basic synopsis of some of the things that happened to me, and how I've developed the life stance that I have now, the idea of God that I have, the idea of life that I have. Why I made the decision that I made, obviously leaving New Jersey. So I hope you look forward to that. I hope you'll come and share a little more of my life with me as we start to get into some more detail about what I went through, what I've overcome, and hopefully you can reflect on that in a way that makes you realize that same power resides within you.